As always, please be careful when mixing your stimulants and your depressants. The caffeine in the cola can make it harder to gauge how the alcohol is affecting you. That said, today's mini drinks are made with coconut rum, melon liqueur, grenadine, and while I don't always advertise specific brands, Coca-Cola, since the drinks are designed to match the bases of these exclusive Coca-Cola Jurassic Park 3 figures. To match the carnivore red base, mix 3/4 of an ounce of coconut rum with a splash of grenadine, add 1.5 ounces of Coke, top it off with ice, and enjoy. To match the herbivore green base, start with a 1/2 ounce of coconut rum, add 3/4 of an ounce of melon liqueur, pour in 1 ounce of Coke, top it off with some ice, and enjoy. Cheers! Back in 2001, to help promote the release of Jurassic Park 3, Universal joined forces with Coca-Cola, Kaiyodo, and the Lawson convenience stores in Japan to bring you these mini dinosaurs. These came in blind bags attached to bottles of Coke, and you would receive one of 12 prehistoric creatures or a secret 13th figure that's not shown on the package. These figures are right around the quality of Kaiyodo's Choclosaurus collections in terms of sculpt and paint, but they're cast in a much more flexible material. Half of them are cast in this translucent reddish cola-colored material and then painted over. The base, however, is unpainted aside from the little JP3 logo. I call these bases the Carnivore Red, which includes the following creatures. Of course, we have the Spinosaurus. I love the look of the creature in the film, but I think the head sculpt here is one of the weakest out of the set. The T-Rex, on the other hand, is not bad. They scale pretty well, which I think is more out of luck rather than intention, since all the figures in the set are roughly the same size, like these raptors. We have both the male and female versions, and I think they are pretty good representations of the updated Velociraptor designs from the film. To round them out, we have 2 versions of the Pteranodons. One is that tan version that was most prominent in the film, but the other was this navy one. I've seen that color scheme on other figures, but I don't recall seeing that one in the film. Either way, the tan one comes in a clear stand that's glued in place, and the first one I got came broken in the bag, so careful with that one. The other figures are cast in more of a green color, and I was calling this one the herbivore green, but that doesn't quite represent all the creatures like the Compsognathus. This is one of my favorites of the set. They scale pretty well with some of the mainline human figures, and are great for army building if you can find more. My other favorite is the Pachycephalosaurus. While it didn't appear in Jurassic Park 3, it's a wonderful rendition of the Lost World version. I think they nailed this one. Speaking of the Lost World, we also have this pretty nice Parasaurolophus with a Lost World-inspired deco. I don't have much to say about this one other than it's nice. The colors of the Brachiosaurus don't really match either the Jurassic Park 3 or even Jurassic Park versions, but it's in a familiar pose, so that's a fun touch. However, it's cast in a more rigid, fragile-feeling material, I assume to keep the neck from drooping over time. And while I haven't tried it myself, you could probably remove the Stegosaurus from the base and have it just stand on its own 4 legs. And I'm sure the same thing goes for the Triceratops. I'm surprised they went with more Lost World-inspired creatures that didn't get much screen time in JP3 instead of some other JP3-specific ones that got more screen time, like the Ankylosaurus or Ceratosaurus. But finally, we have the secret chase figure, a Spino Skull. What it lacks in scientific accuracy, it also lacks in screen time. It would have made more sense to do the Velociraptor resonating chamber, or one of the previously mentioned dinosaurs that got snubbed. Now don't get me wrong, this is still really cool, but also like, why? I will say this, they all look awesome together on the shelf. Huge thank you to my buddy Christian, Goji Rican Customs, for gifting me with this set. I've been helping him get some Jurassic figures that he can't find in Puerto Rico. It's fascinating how some things are basically exclusives simply due to their distribution, and how some things are legit exclusives like these Kaiyodo figures that were never released in the US. Obviously, after 20 some odd years, that's not gonna happen, so you gotta rely on the aftermarket sites. I've seen prices vary wildly, from a couple of bucks per figure to about 30 bucks a pop. I'm curious to find out if Japan will release more things like this for any upcoming Jurassic projects, but in the meantime, good luck on your hunt, thanks for watching, and remember to always drink responsibly.